Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Right now on Fox 50 at 8, we're following breaking news. A major bridge collapsed in Baltimore after a cargo ship ran into it. The search and rescue efforts in Maryland now 6 hours after that bridge collapsed.
And some breaking news in South Durham where a crash is creating some pretty big delays on 40 eastbound. I'll tell you which exits you'll want to avoid.
And it's a chilly start. We will see a milder afternoon. The big story is the rain that comes in tomorrow and lasts through Thursday. I'll show you the timeline.
President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will make a stop here in Raleigh today as we're live at one community center preparing for their arrival. I'll share what they plan to address at this visit.
Quite a busy day, certainly. And before the president and vice president get here, they are watching what's happening in Baltimore as well. And we'll just have to keep tabs on if that affects their trip.
Absolutely.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Good to have you with us today.
And I'm Ken Smith. If you've ever driven through Baltimore, you've been on that bridge. I want to welcome in meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner to our conversation. You're tracking a chilly morning again.
Yes, it's a chilly morning. We're starting off taking a live look from southeast Wake County, looking off to the west. We are seeing some high, thin cloud cover, but generally it feels pretty sunny out there. Temperature in the triangle, 39, so it's cold with a northeast wind at 3 miles per hour. We check temperatures across the area, still close to freezing around Roxborough, South Hill, even Goldsboro, still checking in at 34. Looking at 39 in Rocky Mount and low 40s down to the south. Hour by hour, it's still in the 50s at lunchtime, but we climb into the mid-60s this afternoon, which will be similar to what we saw yesterday. We'll just see conditions clouding up as our front arrives and gets closer to us anyway. It rolls in with some rain first thing tomorrow morning. It looks like there's some showers in the mountains, but the mountains are going to probably stall a lot of that. And again, we're not expecting to see it until early tomorrow. A few rumbles of thunder on Thursday possible, but most of this is just going to be some scattered rain. It will be with us by the morning commute and then just on and off through the afternoon. There's 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It does start to pick up in intensity early on Thursday morning, and then we'll gradually start to pull out as we get into the afternoon. Our eastern counties will likely see the heaviest rain. We'll see at least 100% chance on Thursday, but I'll show you how much you could see where you are. Coming up, Brian.
It is 8:02 right now, and I've been watching a crash on the south side of Durham here for about an hour on 40 eastbound at the 885 interchange. Past couple of minutes, it looks like it is well in the clearing stages, but we still have a state trooper out there and a couple of the vehicles. All lanes are open, but we are seeing backups this morning. The delays right now adding up to about a 12-minute slowdown on 40 eastbound coming in from 15501 out to 885. We'll take a look at it on our map so you can get a sense of where those delays begin. And right now it's slow from the 54 interchange through 751 Fayetteville Road, 55. Once you get to 885, that's where it really starts to clear up. So if you can pick up I-40 eastbound from 885, Davis Drive, any of those RTP exits, you should be in good shape heading on back toward the airport and into Raleigh. Around the rest of the triangle, I'm watching some unusual delays on 440 eastbound coming in from Cary into West Raleigh. Looks like this is right around the Jones-Franklin Road interchange. Backups beginning around Walnut Street as you head into West Raleigh. Keep an eye on that. I have an update for you coming up in a few minutes. Also some backups on 87 southbound between Wendell Falls Parkway down towards Smithfield Road. In Clayton, I've been watching backups on the Clayton Bypass westbound between 70 Business and Ranch Road. Looks like they are clearing a crash from there. Should be cleared pretty quickly. And on the northeast side of Raleigh, look out for a crash with injuries on Buffalo Road at New Hope Road.
We continue to follow breaking news. The bridge collapse in Baltimore, as video right here shows the moment a cargo ship crashed into one of the main pillars of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. This was about 1:30 this morning. Here's what is happening right now if you're just joining us. There are 2 people that were taken from the water. One person refused care. Another was taken to the hospital, a nearby trauma center, in pretty rough shape from what we understand. Now, Maryland's governor has declared a state of emergency there. Rescue crews are searching for at least 7 people who may have fallen into the water. Sonar has detected several cars underwater. Officials are warning this is a developing mass casualty event. We have not heard anything besides the 1 person injured so far. We'll have an update from the WRAL Live Center as crews continue to look for people that they believe are still in that cold water for now more than 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, happening today, President Biden and Vice President Harris will be in Raleigh. They plan to speak this afternoon before attending a private fundraiser. Let's get to WRAL's Laura Levine. She's covering this story live at Chavis Community Center, and that's where the president and vice president will be making remarks about making health care more affordable, Laura.
Ken, good morning. This is a rare joint visit with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. The two typically travel separately to cover more ground. So this trip here to Raleigh is very indicative of how North Carolina plays a big role in this election. Behind me here, you can see the tent set up at the Chavis Community Center, and that's because this is where they're going to be making remarks later this afternoon at 3 o'clock. This video shows you a little bit of some of the preparation it took to get the security situation set up, as well as parking blocked off. The president and VP are expected to talk about health care and reproductive rights, two issues seen as key to driving turnout among Democratic voters and possibly also to convincing some swing voters to back their campaign instead of Republican nominee Donald Trump's. Biden's senior advisor Kristen Link-Young tells us he's also expected to discuss his efforts to lower drug prices and improve the Affordable Care Act, she says, so that millions of people across the country have the security and peace of mind that comes with affordable health insurance.
The president deeply believes that healthcare is an incredibly personal issue and one that makes a huge difference. And we've seen tremendous bipartisan success in North Carolina in driving healthcare forward.
After making those remarks here at this community center, they're going to head to a fundraiser event at 5:30, where we know some key prominent Democratic leaders here in our state will be there as well. The donations to attend that event range anywhere from $3,300 to $100,000. Laura Levine, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Family is in mourning after a mother of two was shot and killed outside her workplace in Apex. Her ex-boyfriend has been arrested for this. Felicia Barbie Battle, you see her here. She was shot yesterday morning near the Molly Maid at Beaver Creek Commons. Sky 5 flew over that scene. A manhunt lasted all day for the man accused of shooting her. His name is Tevin Leach. Police in Jacksonville, North Carolina, arrested him. He's charged with first-degree murder.
Well, today, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments about the availability of the abortion pill mifepristone. The justices will hear arguments today about whether the FDA was outside its authority when it made it easier for women to get that pill. A group called the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine is suing the FDA. Other doctors and anti-abortion groups have joined in as well. Supporters of the drug, though, including the American Medical Association, say it is extremely safe. The FDA approved that drug more than 20 years ago.
Raleigh leaders are working on a plan to get more people to visit downtown. They'll be talking about revitalizing Fayetteville Street today. And WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live there this morning with the plan to make downtown look a bit different. Kelsey?
Jeff, city leaders will have a chance to work towards two goals today, figuring out how much money they have for this project and what exactly they're going to do with that money. Part of the plans include getting rid of old newspaper stands like this that you see on Fayetteville Street and changing the design of the sidewalk. This is a look now at the reimagined version of Fayetteville Street. The goal is to make it known as North Carolina's Main Street. Here's another look at those plans. It includes more walkable space, greenery, and outdoor seating. This is all a part of a larger plan to bring new life to the area. It has recommendations for celebrating the Black Business District, plus adding options for arts, entertainment, and housing.
What it looks to do is sort of reinvigorate this part of downtown. So this part of downtown was hit really hard by COVID, right? It's had, the way that people work in offices has changed, the way people sort of interact and go places has changed. So we need to make sure that downtown changes and evolves as well.
That was Bill King, president and CEO of the Downtown Raleigh Alliance. He says the next step after today's discussion will be for the city council to approve the plan during their next meeting. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
The sweet sounds of success. The NC State women basketball team headed to the Sweet 16. The Wolfpack led by as many as 20 points in the second game with the Tennessee Lady Volunteers at Reynolds Coliseum Monday. The Lady Vols fought back to make it close, but the Pack held them off in the end. That block, by the way, was epic. The Pack winning 79-72. NC State will now head to Portland, Oregon for the next round of the tournament. The Wolfpack women will play Stanford there on Friday.
Over on the men's side, all three Triangle men's teams made the Sweet 16, and WRAL will take you there. Pat Welter will follow the Heels in California. Chris Lee will be in Dallas with NC State and Duke. Those games start Thursday, back again. That's when UNC takes on Alabama in Los Angeles. On Friday, NC State plays Marquette in the early evening game, and Duke has the late one against Houston. Our live coverage starts tomorrow here on WRAL.
We just hit the 8:10 mark on your Tuesday morning. Scary moments during a trip to the mall. Coming up, you'll hear from this man whose car was broken into while he and his daughter were inside the mall.
Plus, artificial intelligence is becoming an everyday technology for some, but training the tech can put a big strain on the power grids. We'll explain how companies are working to avoid a system overload.
We'll see increasing clouds today ahead of our next system that arrives tomorrow. It'll be a mild afternoon, but looking at rain first thing Wednesday through much of the day Thursday. I'll show you how much you could see. 8:13, and we're taking a live look at what's happening across the area. Lots of sunshine right now, but we are going to see increasing high clouds, and then it'll be mainly cloudy as we get towards, say, dinner time. Goldsboro's looking pretty. Apex, lots of blue sky. A little high, thin cloud cover here in Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. And, of course, there's our newsroom there in Fayetteville. Here's the big system coming our way. This is going to bring us a soaker. We're going to see 2 days of rain out of this. It won't rain all day both days, but, it's going to be with us for a while. The cold front last night ended up producing some severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings down here in the deep south. If we see any severe storms, that's where it's most likely to be over the next couple of days. We'll be dealing with a much more stable air mass. We're starting to see some showers pushing into the mountains right now, but the rain doesn't arrive here until tomorrow morning. There's 5 a.m. and by 6 or 7, we begin to see some showers pushing through, and that's what we'll see all day Wednesday. It'll be scattered showers, meaning we're not going to see a solid sheet of rain all day long, but we'll just see some scattered rain on and off during the day Wednesday. Now, it does become a little more widespread as we get into late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. We'll pause it there at about 3 or 4 a.m. And that's when the cold front's coming through, and that's when it'll be a bit heavier. Most likely, the bulk of the rain that we see, or the biggest rainfall totals, will be along and east of I-95, closer to the coast where that front is. And we'll start to see this gradually lifting out. This is going to be lunchtime. We're still looking at some rain in our northeastern counties, but getting through the afternoon, we'll just see some gradual tapering off from southwest to northeast. Here's a look at our rainfall potential. Easily 2 to 3 inches of rain along the I-95 corridor and eastward, but from Raleigh westward, probably looking at more like 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Our flooding risk is fairly widespread on Wednesday. Again, as we see that system crossing the state, it's a low risk, but a low risk would sort of be the same as a level 1 risk of severe storms. It's just for flooding. And we have that low risk again on Thursday. 70% chance Wednesday. We're just going to see the scattered showers, and then it becomes heavier for us on Thursday and a bit more widespread. Temperatures will be cool, too. A high of only 57 on Thursday, and then we're looking at a warm weekend for Easter weekend. It really looks nice. We'll see a good bit of sunshine. Highs will be in the mid to upper 70s. Could be a stray shower late Sunday into Monday. I'll have your forecast for Easter sunrise coming up, Brian.
8:16 right now, Elizabeth. All new. We do have a crash on the Beltline at 440 eastbound, right around the Jones-Franklin Road interchange, leading to some pretty big backups on US 1 northbound, leaving Cary, heading back toward Raleigh. This is the live camera at US 1 at Cary Parkway with northbound traffic heading away from us. It's slow all the way up to the I-40 interchange, about a 5-minute delay overall from 55 in Apex up to I-40 in Raleigh. And then as we zoom into that area in the southwest part of Raleigh, we have some delays even beyond the I-40 interchange as you head out toward Jones-Franklin Road. Although with the most recent updates on the sensors, it looks like maybe they have started to clear that minor crash and things are looking a little better. Just plan on a little bit of a delay through there. Also seeing a bit of a ramp delay on 40 eastbound heading through there. Still watching some backups on the south side of Durham on 40 eastbound because of an earlier crash right around 885. The delays are pretty solid from the 54 interchange all the way through 55 out to the 885 area. Taking a live look at that camera at I-40 at 885. Still have one vehicle in the median there, but that scene largely has cleared. Traffic's flowing a little more freely. Still, we're measuring about an 11-minute delay. Also, we've learned that crash on the westbound side of the Clayton bypass right around Ranch Road has cleared. Traffic now is flowing freely on 70.
You may notice more police the next time you shop at the streets at South Point. Durham police is increasing patrol around the mall after thieves broke into at least 4 cars in the parking lot over the weekend. One of those cars was stolen and then ditched miles away in Cary. Antoine Short was one of the people that his car broken into Sunday, and he says thieves smashed the driver's side window of his Chevy Silverado while he was inside the mall with his daughter.
We were maybe there in the mall maybe about an hour, 45 minutes. And within that hour, 45 minutes, we come out, and this whole window right here was shattered. Just have the kids see something like that, it's disheartening.
Short says nothing was stolen from his truck. WRAL reached out to Streets at South Point for a statement. We haven't heard a response back yet.
The performance grade your child's school receives could change soon. State lawmakers are considering updating how that grade is calculated. The current grading system relies only on standardized test scores. The new system would reconsider different scores for different areas like student growth or career and college readiness. They say it would help parents better understand how well a school actually teaches students. A key committee recommended the changes today with support from the state superintendent. Lawmakers could vote on the upgrade when they return to session next month.
Tomorrow, we'll learn who will become the new president of Meredith College. President Joe Allen is retiring after 13 years at the school. She was the first alum to serve as the college president. Her replacement will be announced at a campus celebration tomorrow.
A New York police officer is dead after a shootout during a traffic stop. New York City police say Queens officer Jonathan Diller died Monday night. Diller had been with the NYPD for 3 years. Police say a man shot Diller just below his bulletproof vest during a traffic stop. Diller's partner shot back and hit the man. Diller died at a nearby hospital. The condition of the other man is unknown at this time.
Sean Diddy Combs had several of his homes raided simultaneously yesterday by federal officials. 2 homes that were raided were in Los Angeles and Miami. Combs is at the center of a federal investigation after several civil lawsuits were filed against him since November. 3 women and a man were interviewed in relation to allegations of sex trafficking, sexual assault, and the distribution of drugs and guns. The lawsuits were filed after public scrutiny of Combs' behavior with his former romantic partner and artist Cassie Ventura. Ventura accused him of physically and sexually abusing her for years.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signing a bill banning social media accounts for kids under the age of 14. Under the law, 15 and 16-year-olds in Florida can get social media accounts with parental consent. DeSantis says the bill gives parents a greater ability to protect their kids. The bill, set to go into effect next year, is expected to face legal challenges from the tech industry.
Artificial intelligence is here to stay, and one aspect of the technology is that it puts a big strain on the nation's power grid. Sean Langill takes a closer look at the efforts to prevent a system overload.
With a simple prompt and click, artificial intelligence can generate essays, images, and more in seconds.
AI is here and it's coming at us fast and furious.
But the companies behind these programs need massive data centers to help train their software. And this requires a whole lot of electricity.
You can have ChatGPT, for example, be able to talk to you like a human being. We had to first train it to be able to do that. So that requires a lot of electricity. Making it possible for you to just go on your phone and ask ChatGPT anything, that also needs electricity because it has to be on standby 24/7.
Philip Odonkor of the Stevens Institute of Technology says this is straining the national power grid. It also comes at a time when more businesses and households are embracing electric gadgets and moving away from fossil fuels.
And so in buildings, we're now using electricity for heating. We're using electricity for cooking. We also have our vehicles, which are becoming electrified.
To help the power grid manage the growing demand, some tech giants behind AI programs are looking for ways to generate their own electricity.
They are thinking about how can we develop smaller nuclear power plants to power our data centers. You can have nuclear operate 24/7 with minimal environmental impacts.
This push for nuclear comes as Odonkor says renewable energies like solar and wind aren't supplying enough power for AI.
The sun doesn't always shine, the wind doesn't always blow, so they're not necessarily the right fix.
He recommends communities invest in infrastructure upgrades to their power grids to prevent system overloads.
Sean Langill reporting. A North Carolina singer is making big waves on The Voice. Listen to this.
I was caller number 5 on a radio station on a 4-day, 3-night beach vacation. Deep sea senorita.
Pretty good cover right there. As Josh Sanders, the country music singer, is on Team Reba. And the good news, he advanced last night. He's from Kannapolis. You can catch him on The Voice on Monday and Tuesday nights on WRAL.
Well, Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes are moving on to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA Women's Tournament. Clark scored 32 points in what is her last game in front of her hometown fans in Iowa City. The Hawkeyes beat West Virginia 64-54. They now go to Albany, New York for the next round. They'll play Colorado on Saturday.
Coming up, President Biden and Vice President Harris will be in Raleigh today. We'll tell you how the two are spending their day and the message they want to send.
And rescue efforts are underway after a cargo ship hits a major Baltimore bridge, causing it to collapse. Michelle McConaughey in the WRAL Live Center with the latest on the status of this investigation.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning at 8:26. I'm Ken Smith. Another chilly start on this spring morning. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with how chilly it is right now.
It is still pretty chilly out there. Upper 30s in Durham and Raleigh, but pretty sunshine. We do have a few clouds out there. We'll see those clouds thickening up as we get through the afternoon and our next system approaches. It is a bit grayer there in Fayetteville right now. 42 degrees the current temperature. Heading out the door, coat feels good right now, but you can most likely shed it later this afternoon. Our temperatures will climb into the mid-60s, making it a great afternoon to get outside and exercise. If you want to get outside, I would do it today because both Wednesday and Thursday look rather wet. I'll show you how much rain we'll see on Fox 50 coming up, Brian.
Elizabeth here at 8:27. That earlier crash on 40 eastbound at 885 in Durham has cleared as we take a look at that live camera, but we still are measuring some delays there. Our sensors are reporting a 12-minute slowdown overall between 15501 out to 885. I don't think it's quite that bad, but we are still seeing some backups there, especially between 15501 and Fayetteville Road this morning. Looking a lot better as you head toward 55 and beyond. Elsewhere around the triangle, earlier crash on 440 eastbound at Jones Franklin Road also has cleared. Still a little bit of a slowdown on US 1 northbound through Cary.
President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in the Triangle this afternoon. They'll be speaking at Raleigh in the Chavis Community Center at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. They will then participate in a campaign reception at 5:30 this evening. Now, that's a private fundraiser, the lowest donation, around $3,300. Next on Fox 50, what we know about the plans to revitalize Fayetteville Street in downtown Raleigh to bring new energy to that area. And ahead on today, Gabby Bernstein on practical ways to handle anxiety.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
We continue to follow that breaking news out of Baltimore, Maryland. A major bridge collapse. Officials saying this is an all hands on deck effort. We'll have the latest from the WRAL Live Center.
Triangle this today. We'll tell you what they'll have to say and what it means for you and what it means for their campaign.
And we're looking at a chilly start this morning. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We'll have a mild afternoon before a big system brings us a soaking rain. I'll show you coming up.
Today, Raleigh city leaders will consider plans to revitalize Fayetteville Street. Coming up, what changes could be coming to downtown?
A lot of news to get to this morning, including the latest on that tragedy in Baltimore. My goodness.
This is a mass casualty event that we have not realized the full scope of yet, and it's just kind of a waiting game now. It's sad.
Yeah, thanks for staying with us here. I'm Ken Smith.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, great to have you along here. Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Another day. It's going to end up a little bit like yesterday, maybe even a little better, we hope.
Yeah, temperatures should feel very similar. We're starting off at 30s this morning in a lot of places. We are seeing a little bit more cloud cover. That's going to be the main difference. It'll be a mild afternoon, but already we're looking at mainly cloudy skies here in Southern Pines. A lot of folks still seeing plenty of sunshine, and for the most part, we won't see a lot of cloud cover rolling in until after lunchtime. 39 is our temperature in the Triangle. We have a light northeast wind at 3 miles per hour. It's 36 in Roxborough and South Hill, 39 Rocky Mount, 38 in Goldsboro. So temperatures are starting to creep up. We were near freezing in a lot of places near the Virginia line this morning. Looking at low 40s down south. The clouds are starting to thicken up a little bit there. It's still pretty chilly at lunchtime with mid 50s, but we'll be in the mid 60s this afternoon, and that continues into the evening, even with the cloud cover. We're tracking our front that will be sliding eastward and helping to bring some rain starting early tomorrow morning. There were some strong thunderstorms down near the Gulf Coast early this morning, but that has tapered off, and we'll start here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. That's when we start to see the rain pushing in. It's not going to rain all day, but we'll see waves of rain, scattered showers all day long. There's 3 o'clock, there's 5 o'clock, and then overnight, as the cold front gets closer to us, we'll likely see that rain becoming heavier. So it's really going to be very messy for us Thursday morning, and then during the day, those showers start to slide eastward, and we'll see the rain tapering off as we get through the afternoon from southwest to northeast. So Wednesday, scattered showers, rain for the first half of Thursday that will be heavy at times. I'll show you how much you could see coming up, Brian.
It is 8:32. All morning we've been tracking delays on the south side of Durham on 40 eastbound because of an earlier crash right around the 885 interchange. Still one vehicle there in the median, but the scene has cleared. We're still measuring about a 12-minute delay overall on those sensor readings between 15501 and 885. I'm not sure it's quite that bad this morning. As we take a look at those backups on the map, you can see that it really has eased up between 55 and the 885 interchange. Still, though, we are measuring some slowdowns between 54 out toward 751 and Fayetteville Road. So give yourself a little extra time heading through South Durham. That situation is getting better, though, as we start to see traffic thinning out a little bit. Same situation on the southwest side of Raleigh and through Cary, US 1 northbound, all the way up to the I-40 interchange. We saw some earlier delays because of a crash around Jones-Franklin Road there on US 1 northbound or 440 eastbound. That has cleared. Traffic's flowing a lot more freely now. Also, some of those ramp delays that we were watching on 40 westbound have started to improve. Take a look at your major approaches into Raleigh. Not picking up any big backups so far. Only about a 4-minute slowdown coming in from Wake Forest on southbound Capitol Boulevard. A 2-minute delay as you head in from Knightdale on 87 southbound. And some backups on 40 westbound between the South Saunders Street interchange out toward Gorman Street.
Brian, thanks. We continue to follow that breaking news of that bridge collapse in Baltimore. Video shows the moment it happened around 1:30 this morning, that cargo ship hitting a pillar, bringing that bridge right down into the water. Happening now, 2 people were taken from the water. 1 person refused care. Another was transported to a nearby trauma center in really bad condition. Maryland's governor declaring a state of emergency. Now, rescue crews are searching for at least 7 people, but as many as 20 people who may have fallen into that river. Sonar equipment also detecting at least several cars submerged underwater. Officials warn this is a developing mass casualty event. Michelle McConaughey is in the WRAL Live Center. Michelle, the mayor of Baltimore, calling this an unspeakable tragedy.
Yeah, that's right, Ken. An unspeakable tragedy is what the mayor's calling this. We have quite a few updates for you right now. We are 7 hours into this search right now. The FAA, we've just learned, are restricting planes from flying over this area. They are not allowing any airlines to fly over this. But they say this is an all hands on deck effort. This is not a recovery mission yet because they don't know who might still be alive in the water. But again, the Baltimore mayor, Brandon Scott, saying this is an unspeakable tragedy. And he says, while there is concern for the status of the bridge, traffic and the port there, he wants to concentrate on victims that might be still in that water. We do want to stress here, though, the temperature of that river, the Patapsco River, in the 50s right now. So that is very, very cold. If there are people still in that water, they have been there for more than 7 hours at this point. We do know also that construction workers were on that bridge doing concrete work when this bridge collapsed. We don't know how many construction workers. I know they're saying that they're looking for at least 7 people. We don't know if construction workers are also in that number. They do say they have a forensics unit on scene as well. As for the ship, they do say that 22 crew members on board, including 2 pilots, they've all been accounted
accounted for. There were no reports of any injuries to anybody on the ship, but the shipping giant Maersk confirmed in a statement that the Dolly ship was operated and managed by a company called Synergy Group. It was chartered to transport its customers' cargo, and the company said the exact cause of this incident is yet to be determined. They don't know what happened here, but they do say they are fully cooperating with government agencies. President Biden has also been briefed on this bridge collapse and the ongoing search and rescue efforts. They say that he will continue to receive updates from his team throughout the day. But again, we are 7 hours into this search. At least 7 people are missing this morning. This is an all hands on deck effort. As soon as we learn any more information, we'll bring it to you from the Live Center.
Still a long way to go there today. Michelle, thanks for the update. Today, President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Raleigh, and they plan to give public remarks before attending a private fundraiser event. WRAL's Laura Levine is outside the Chavis Community Center this morning, and Laura, Biden and Harris plan to talk about their plan to make health care more affordable.
Jeff, good morning. Yes, this is a rare joint visit with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. The two typically travel separately to cover more ground. So this trip here to Raleigh really shows how important North Carolina is for this election. Behind me here, you can see the tent set up here at the Chavis Community Center as they prepare for their arrival. They're going to make remarks here starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon. This is some video of the preparation that was underway yesterday, again, preparing for their visit today. The president and VP are expected to talk about health care and reproductive rights, two issues seen as key to driving turnout among Democratic voters and possibly also to convincing some swing voters to back their campaign instead of presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump. Biden's senior advisor, Kristen Link-Young, tells us he's also expected to discuss his efforts to lower drug prices and improve the Affordable Care Act. With Trump now polling ahead of Biden in early stages of their electoral rematch, this campaign today plans to drive home the key issues that matter the most right here to voters.
The president believes strongly that a woman's right to choose is a clear right that all Americans deserve access to. And you heard him speak in the State of the Union about the importance of not moving backwards. And you can expect him to continue to talk about that issue as well.
And after their stop here, the two are going to head to a fundraising event at 5:30. We know that prominent Democratic leaders here in our state will be there. The ticket there, the cost ranges between $3,300 to $100,000 for those donations to their campaign. Laura Levine, WRAL News. We are live in Raleigh.
Today, UNC students are calling for the Raleigh Police Department to release body cam video from a raid on a family home. They say that raid came through the wrong door and the family was traumatized as a result. The raid happened in April of 2021 at the home of Amir Aboud, his pregnant wife Marion, and their 11-month-old son. This is video from a security camera outside the home. According to the suit, RPD officers used a quick knock warrant and busted down the front door before pointing guns at the family. The suit claims officers realized several minutes later that they had the wrong person in the wrong house. The person of interest was a neighbor, the only other Arab man in the neighborhood. The suit claims the wrongful raid was a result of racial discrimination.
Well, today we'll learn more about plans to revitalize Fayetteville Street in downtown Raleigh. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains city leaders want to entice more people to come downtown and breathe new life and make it more family-friendly.
City leaders are working towards two goals today. One, figuring out how much money they have for this project, and two, what exactly they're going to do with it. And part of this plan for revitalizing Fayetteville Street is getting rid of these old newspaper boxes and changing the design of this sidewalk. This is a look now at the reimagined version of Fayetteville Street. The goal is to make it known as North Carolina's Main Street. Here's another look at those plans. It includes more walkable space, greenery, and outdoor seating. This is all a part of a larger plan to bring new life to the area. It has recommendations for celebrating the Black Business District, plus adding options for art, entertainment, and housing.
What it looks to do is sort of reinvigorate this part of downtown. So this part of downtown was hit really hard by COVID, right? It's had, the way that people work in offices has changed, the way people sort of interact and go places has changed. So we need to make sure that downtown changes and evolves as well.
That was Bill King, president and CEO of the Downtown Raleigh Alliance. He says the next step after today's discussion will be for the City Council to approve this at their next meeting. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Raleigh.
Powerball jackpot is now the fifth largest ever, $865 million after no one hit all the numbers during last night's drawing. Here's a look at those winning numbers: 7, 11, 19, 53, 68. The Powerball is 23. The Power Play is 2. You can watch tomorrow night's drawing right here on WRAL before our 11 o'clock news. And the Mega Millions jackpot is already over $1 billion. To be a billionaire, you got to be in tonight's drawing. It's live at 11 on WRAL.
Well, how much does it really cost to live comfortably in Raleigh? Coming up, we'll answer that question and how students are planning for the rising cost of living.
And you could soon hop on an overnight flight on a budget airline. The new plans Southwest Airlines has to add red-eye flights.
Heading to break, we're going to give you a live look now at the whirly gigs right there in Wilson. You can see the gigs are spinning this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner giving us a timeline for a midweek soaker.
8:45, taking a live look here at Southern Pines Longleaf Golf and Family Club. Cloudy skies here. It's a little bit chilly. We are seeing sunshine across parts of the viewing area, but this is what it's likely to look like once we get past lunchtime and into the afternoon. Our temperatures are still cool. Lots of 30s on the map, still 39 in the triangle. We're looking at mid-50s at lunchtime, and we do climb into the mid-60s this afternoon, but it may feel a little cooler than yesterday with some cloud cover later this afternoon. We started this morning with our northern counties right near freezing, and we're starting to see a little bit of a warm up. It's 36 now in Lewisburg and Henderson, 37 in Roxborough, 39 in Wilson and Rocky Mount. We head down to the south. It is 40 in Goldsboro, 39 in Raleigh, 40 in Sanford, 42 in Fayetteville. So it is on the cool side. Still expecting to hit 64 in Raleigh and 63 in Durham, 65 in Fayetteville for highs this afternoon. 66 is our normal high, so we'll be close to that this afternoon, even with lots of cloud cover. Rain starts early Wednesday. We're going to see showers on and off all day, and then it's heavier early Thursday through the early part of the afternoon, and it'll be cooler too with temperatures in the 50s. Friday we dry out, and Saturday and Sunday we warm up into the 70s. I mean, it really looks like a nice weekend for Easter. Very high in terms of our tree pollen right now, but the rain that starts tomorrow will help to push those numbers down. Mulberry and pine are the biggest pollen pollinators doesn't sound right. That's bees. Anyway, the biggest offenders right now. That pine pollen is likely to be with us for several more weeks too. Early this morning, we had some severe thunderstorms down near the Gulf Coast. That is likely to stay well to the south of us. We will see the rain rolling in tomorrow morning. You can see at 6 a.m. a few light showers. That starts to pick up as we get through the morning. We'll roll it on ahead, and we get past 6 a.m. and you can see some scattered rain there around 9 o'clock. It's not going to rain all day Wednesday. We're going to have some breaks in the precipitation, but we will see the potential for rain all day long. There's 5 o'clock looking pretty wet, 10 o'clock scattered showers, and then it becomes heavier overnight. By early tomorrow morning, early Thursday morning, it's really wet, and that's going to be the case up until around lunchtime, and then finally that starts to pull out. Some of the biggest rainfall totals will likely be a little bit closer to the coast. Looking at a good bit of rain Wednesday and Thursday as those numbers really climb, and our Easter forecast looking pretty good. Sunrise Easter is right about 7:02. Temperature should be close to 50. We'll see sunny skies all day Sunday, 70 degrees at noon with a high of 77. Saturday looks pretty too with a high of 74. We could see a stray shower on Monday.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, the man accused of killing his ex-girlfriend is in custody in Wake County. We just got this brand new mugshot of Tevin Leach. He was arrested at the Days Inn on Highway 17 in Jacksonville, North Carolina. He killed his ex-girlfriend Felicia Barbie Battle on Monday near her workplace in Beaver Creek Commons. And following an hours-long manhunt, he was taken into custody in Jacksonville, North Carolina, who was transported to Wake County. That's where he is this morning. He faces a first-degree murder charge.
Now to the major developments in 2 of Donald Trump's court cases in New York. Just as the former president was up against the deadline to post a $464 million bond to cover his civil fraud judgment, an appeals court reduced that bond by more than half. With no lenders willing to cover the bond while he appeals, Trump was facing the prospect of New York's Attorney General seizing his iconic properties and bank accounts. He now has 10 days to come up with a smaller bond. Also, Trump sat in a different courtroom Monday. A judge in Manhattan set a new date of April 15th of the first ever criminal trial of a former president, where he faces charges of doctoring his company's records to cover up an alleged affair before the 2016 election.
A man is in the hospital after being stabbed on Newbern Avenue in Raleigh. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker here as police responded to a call about a fight between two men outside the church's chicken location there last night. They found a man had been stabbed in the arm and thigh. He is expected to be okay. No one is in custody out of this.
Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Shohei Ohtani speaking out for the first time since his former interpreter became wrapped up in a sports gambling scandal. Ohtani, along with his current translator, addressed the media at Dodger Stadium. Ohtani saying that he is saddened and shocked and that he has never bet on sports or used a bookmaker. This comes after allegations surfaced his former interpreter stole millions of dollars from Ohtani's account to place bets. Ohtani explained he first learned of the situation during a team meeting in South Korea last week as the Dodgers opened the Major League Baseball season.
In conclusion, I do want to make it clear that I never betted on sports or have willfully sent money to the bookmaker.
Well, no charges have been filed at this time. The IRS is investigating Ohtani's former interpreter as well as the Major League Baseball.
According to a recent study from CNBC, to live comfortably, you should make enough to spend 50% of your income on necessities, things like housing, 30% of your spending on discretionary items like travel and entertainment, and then you should still have 20% of your income left to put into savings or investments. According to personal finance website Smart Asset, Raleigh is the 23rd most expensive place in the country to make all that happen. The study found a single person in Raleigh needs an income of more than $102,000 a year to meet that living comfortably goal. WRAL spoke with graduating seniors at NC State who told us cost of living plays a big role when choosing a field of study.
I don't think I would have chosen a degree where I didn't know I could have like a guaranteed at least like 70, 80 coming out, especially like inflation and like cost of living going up.
You can visit WRAL.com to find a list of the salaries needed to reach that living comfortably goal in other cities in North Carolina and around the country.
UNC Health celebrating the addition of new technology that helps reduce tremors in patients without any incisions. Focused ultrasound treatment works by sending sound waves into a patient's brain to hone in on the source of a tremor and then get rid of it. It's used for patients who don't respond to other medication. The hospital system did its first procedure this past winter, and the patient at the center of that procedure telling WRAL he feels like he has his life back.
I can eat again. I can go in buffets and not have food flying all over the place. I can text without hitting 3 A's every time and 3 B's. It was bad.
Wow. In addition to UNC Health, the treatment is also offered through Duke Health in Durham, Carolinas Medical Center in Charlotte, and Atrium Health, Wake Forest Baptist.
Southwest Airlines will begin offering overnight flights for the first time in its 57-year history. Appropriately, the first red-eye flight will leave Las Vegas and another from Hawaii. Southwest expects around 50 red-eye flights daily once they launch. The chief commercial officer says the airline needs to work out a few labor details, but hopes the flights can begin in about 2 years. The first total solar eclipse since 2017 is happening on April 8th, and if you want to see it, we'll get about 80% of the view from right here in North Carolina. You can travel, though, and get that full total eclipse in the path there. The closest state that'll pass over total, Tennessee. It'll also travel through Texas, Missouri, Kentucky, New York, Vermont, and Maine. A Western North Carolina man says he is spreading joy to kids and adults alike with his collection of Pez dispensers. Walter Cranford has tens of thousands of these candy dispensers. He says his collection started about 30 years ago with a Pinocchio dispenser he bought at a flea market for $4. When he found out it was actually worth about $150, he decided to start collecting them. And he says people's jaws drop when they come into his unique antique shop in Newton and see this display. And he tries to plant the seeds of collecting in young people as well.
If I see a kid walking up the street with a mom, I say, come in here and get a free Pez dispenser. I've probably given away thousands of Pez dispensers since I've been here. I'm sure I have.
Cranford says he has been to more than a dozen Pez dispenser conventions, including one here in Raleigh County.
Well, here's the Tar Heel traveler waiting to happen. Heading to break, another look at North Carolina education winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check of weather, traffic, and news next.